Yo, what are you lot saying? It's your boy here, and today what I've got for you, it is the Formula 1 2015 Brazilian Grand Prix review for you guys. So let's get right down to this video for you guys. So we'll start off in qualifying because nothing much really happened in practice, so yeah. So moving into qualifying, Q1 got underway in very sunny conditions, so no threats of rain whatsoever, which was good. So that meant qualifying ran as per usual. So yeah, so the cars ran out, all did their flying laps, that kind of stuff. But the one drama that did happen was that Fernando Alonso, who was in the McLaren Honda, he coming out of Pironi or something like that. Pironi, something like that. It's that long corner before the short cambered hairpin there. So yeah, he got off the track, and yeah, that was the end of his session. So he started from the back of the grid. And what was funny was that I guess he was so annoyed with his car. I guess, you know, he got fed up and decided, you know what, I'm going to be a spectator now. I'm going to have a suntan now. Which is quite funny. I found that quite hilarious, to be honest. So yeah, Alonso giving us a bit of comedic dramas, giving us some comedic moments in qualifying. So yeah. But that wasn't over because after Q1, after the end of Q1, Maldonado unfortunately did not make it into Q2, so he would be out. So yeah, at the end of Q2, there was a funny moment. Both Button and Alonso went onto the podium and did a selfie, because I saw it on Instagram after them two on the podium. So yeah, quite hilarious, quite funny. Hopefully it will become a reality one day for one or both of them. So yeah. But yeah, moving back into the racing, Q2 got underway, and there we didn't. Well, actually, we saw Hamilton really set a cork of lap on 111 on those tyres, so on the prime tyres. So yeah, good lap by Hamilton there. No, on the options actually. Apologies. Yeah, so good lap by him there. But in the end, Massa. Oh, by the way, Massa had a little bit of problems. He had a little bit of traffic problems. First, it was Nadia, who for some odd reason did not get out of the way, even though he was not on a flying lap. He did not get out of the way, which meant that Massa, who was on a flying lap, had to go right off the road just to avoid running into the back of him, and that was in Q1. So yeah, but unfortunately for Felipe Massa, Nadia did not get a penalty, so a bit weird, to be honest. I mean, I thought it would have been a slam dunk penalty, because you don't do that in racing, to be honest. You know, you don't just impede someone who's on a flying lap. Because it felt like that, to be honest. You know, he did not look behind him. You know, he just kept his line. You know, he wasn't even getting out of the way. You know, for Massa, who was on a really good lap there. So, and as a result, that almost put him out of Q1 there. You know. So yeah, a bit of a strange one, I'd say. So if that was me, I'd give him Nadia a slam dunk grid penalty. So yeah. And then it continued. He had a bit more traffic, and as a result, really couldn't get the laps hooked up. But thankfully, on the final run, he was able to get that lap that he needed to get himself out of Q2. So get himself into Q3. So yeah. Another disappointing qualifying session for us. He didn't get into Q3, unfortunately. Another loss to Verstappen, so in their battle. So yeah. And then going into Q3, that was when the real fight began between the two Mercedes. Both of them really even Stevens, I would say, to be honest. So yeah. But in the first run, Nico really put in a real vicious lap. That put him a couple of tenths ahead of Lewis Hamilton behind him there. So Q2, but then on the second run, Hamilton had a bit more in his pocket, but then made a mistake in turn 1 and 2. Just a slight mistake which cost him a chance of pole position, and as a result was only down by 0.08 of a second. So yeah, unfortunate for him. you know. But that's racing, to be honest, you know. Sometimes you're on pole, sometimes you're not, you know. Sometimes you beat your teammate by a little bit, sometimes you beat him by loads, sometimes you lose by little, sometimes you lose by loads. It's just the part of race. It's just the nature of racing. So yeah. So unfortunate for Lewis, but he's still got the race left to do. So yeah, he's still got the race. So yeah. So moving on into the race, Sainz, by the way, who was due to start 12th on the grid, had engine problems, so that meant he would have to start from the pit lane. So unfortunate for him there, but yeah, unfortunate. You know, he hasn't really had a really lucky season, I would say. He's really had if anything, he's had an unlucky season. So yeah, hopefully next year this all blows away and he can perform some good results, because when I saw him in Formula Renault, when he was dominating that championship, I felt like this could be the next Lewis Hamilton or the next Sebastian Vettel or the next Michael Schumacher. I really had high hopes on Carlos Sainz. So yeah. So moving on into the race, it was a good start from Nico Rosberg. Lewis got a really good start, so much so that he tried to make it work on the outside but couldn't, so he would have to set up for second place there. Bottas also made an electrifying start from 7th on the grid, managed to overtake a couple of cars and moved himself up into 5th place. Not quite enough to overtake Raikkonen, who he was trying to get around the outside of. So yeah, so Bottas behind Raikkonen behind his arch nemesis in the last couple of races recently. So yeah. So yeah, so Hamilton was chasing after Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was chasing after Nico Rosberg at the front. We also got a couple of battling going on, you know, the first few laps. But then also on the first lap as well, we saw Carlos Sainz pulling over off to the left-hand side. So he saw a weekend go from bad to worse. So yeah, not really a lucky weekend for him there. So yeah. So unfortunate for him there, but meanwhile his teammate was really having a good battle. Was really by like lap 10 onwards, he was really struggling to get by Sergio Perez ahead of him. So yeah, and then ahead of Perez, he was struggling a little bit to get by Massa as well. So yeah. And then come lap 5, lap 6, Ricciardo pitted. He was the first man to pit in the race. He pitted for the primes, I believe. Yeah, prime tyres. So he was scheduled to do the 3-stop strategy, and then afterwards a load of people started coming in at the couple laps after, the likes of Bottas. By the way, Bottas pitted on lap 9, tried to make the undercut work but didn't, so he would have to settle for 5th. So yeah. So yeah, others pitted, Kvyat, Hulkenberg. So yeah, a lot of people pitted, and as a result as well, Hulkenberg, who I believe was behind Kvyat in the first few laps, managed to undercut Kvyat and get himself up to 6th place. So good undercut and good strategic calls by the Force India team. So yeah. And then after which we saw Lewis Hamilton really close up on Nico Rosberg, and that somewhat gave Hamilton some hope in terms of taking the lead of the race. But as Nico came into the pit, he got held up. He got held up by Sebastian Vettel, and that gave a possible opportunity for Hamilton to take the lead of the race. But unfortunately, Lewis had sort of similar pit stop to Nico Rosberg, and as a result would come up behind Nico Rosberg for 2nd place. So yeah, and then afterwards Lewis closed right up to the back of Nico Rosberg, so much so that he almost ran into the back of him there. So and really also and also at the same time as well, Nico really was doing some weird manoeuvres, you know, something like that. He was really braking quite early at that point. So yeah. So we were all thinking it was a brake issue, but Nico said on the podium that it wasn't. It was him managing the tyres, that kind of stuff. So yeah, fair enough. But yeah, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, is this like payback for China? Honestly, I don't think it is, to be honest. I think it was just Nico just managing his tyres, just keeping the car nice and keeping the temperatures nice and optimal. So yeah. And then afterwards, we saw a great move. I think it was Grosjean. I think it was Verstappen on. I believe it was on Nazia. Yeah, he went round the outside. He went round the inside. Made a beautiful pass. They almost touched going through the ZRSs, but thankfully they didn't. And as a result, Verstappen was able to pass Nazia for I believe it was 12th place. Yeah. And then afterwards rejoined in the fight for 9th place with Perez and Grosjean behind. So yeah, and then we saw a crash, a little collision going on between Nazia and Grosjean. So Nazia's day getting from bad to worse, getting passed by Verstappen and then getting touched by Maldonado, which sent Nazia spinning off the road. So yeah. So unfortunate and surprised that, and then as a result, Maldonado got a 5-second penalty. So yeah. And then afterwards, we saw the Ferraris trying to see if they can beat the Mercedes in terms of strategy, because they tried. I think at one point they tried the soft tyres to try and close up on the Mercedes, but really, I mean, in terms of the whole race, the Ferraris just did not have a whisper of a chance to close up and challenge the two Mercedes out in front. So yeah, so they would have to settle for 3rd and 4th for Vettel and Raikkonen. So yeah, with Bottas in 5th behind. So yeah, and then in the end it was by the way, Lewis Hamilton, I think almost at the end of the race, was complaining about floor issues. He was saying like, my floor is damaged, that kind of stuff. But the team told him via telemetry that the error was good, so there was no floor damage. So yeah, so maybe signs of frustration, maybe signs of anxiousness, that kind of stuff. So maybe signs, pressure getting to Lewis. So yeah, I mean, in terms of Nico being somewhat better than Lewis this weekend. So yeah. But in the end, Nico Rosberg was able to hold off all the pressures that Lewis could give to him, and as a result, won the race over Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place. He tried his bitter hardest to take the win off of Nico Rosberg, but in the end, we'll have to settle for 2nd place. And as a result, that meant that Nico Rosberg had guaranteed a 2nd place, a runner-up spot for this championship. So yeah, good job by Nico Rosberg for securing that, because it looked like at one point he was going to be 3rd. So yeah, to Vettel. So yeah. Also, Williams, who finished 5th and 7th, I believe, they managed to score 3rd in the championship. So yeah, good job by them lot. And yeah, also Force India as well. They secured 5th place in the championship, so they no longer can be caught for 5th, and they can no longer get 4th place or 3rd place. So yeah, so they secured the 5th place. So yeah, so yeah, that's been this 2015 Brazilian Grand Prix for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button below, subscribe to me, and I'll see you guys next time. Boy, I am out. Peace.